Hi and welcome to XCAR's review of the year 2013. I'm joined with Nick Wilkinson and Alex Goy, and I'm Drew Stern, and we're going to be going through month by month everything that we've done here on XCAR. And of course with these things it seems logical to start in January.
Right, big list for January. We revealed the Toyota to Drew, our long lost long-term car, love that thing. We drove a Focus ST and a BMW M5 in Wales, that was cold. We went out with Shmee 150 in his bright purple Audi R8 Spider. We drove the Lotus Exige S. We had an interview with Charles Morgan.
Right, well for people who don't know what the Toyota was,
it was a Toyota Hilux that had been converted by its previous keeper to be a proper off-road mental machine. You could put a tent on the roof, had spare tyres, it was jacked up, it had a prototype light bar on it, it was amazing. But we had it wrapped with loads of XCAR livery and XCAR, well, art really, by Ian Cook, friend of the show. He goes under Popbang colour, and it looked absolutely amazing. But that was done before we left for Christmas. So in January, we showed it to you and we went razzing around town. Next on this, the Ford Focus ST and the BMW M5.
We chose a weekend in Wales where it was kind of the blizzards kind of began of January, and I remember overnight everything froze and we couldn't even get into the Hilux next morning because the back doors had frozen. So we actually had to kind of do some jiggery-pokery with some screwdrivers to kind of get into our kit.
how would you describe Wales to people who don't know where that is? Of course, we're not referring to our British viewers. We obviously assume you know where Wales is, but we have a lot of viewers from overseas who might not be as familiar.
Yeah, it's up the M4, so you go there for a couple hours, and then you probably want to head over the Severn Bridge. It's a lump in the middle left of England. Yeah. So if you look at...
it's that weird thing.
It's like a backpack.
Yes, it's the growth of England.
Yeah.
But we love Wales, and we shoot there a lot, and it's absolutely beautiful. The Brecon Beacons is absolutely stunning, but at that point in my infinite wisdom, I decided, despite the heavy snowfall, when Alex driving quite a Larry M5, that we would go up to kind of the top of a mountain to get a time lapse at dawn. And I remember within about 11 minutes, my camera battery was just absolutely dead because it was about minus 11 degrees.
I remember driving up the hill, leading the convoy, Hilux in the back. So I went to turn in, and then the back just went, nope, no, 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 no. And I had a nice big drift that very nearly turned the interior of the car an interesting shade of brown. Anyway, moving swiftly on, we met up with a lovely man called Shmee 150.
And who's Shmee 150?
Shmee 150 is one of the world's premier car spotters. His job is to go out and spot cars and have goes in the kind of stuff that we dream of. But he has his very own Audi R8 V10 Spider, pre-facelift, but he had it wrapped purple, so we thought it'd be nice.
Colour.
Yeah. We thought it'd be nice to go out and, well, ask him some questions about it.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, that V10 sound. I mean, we'd had the V8 in previously, but it was I think it was our first V10 that we filmed actually. Is that? That's right. Yeah, and the sound was just unbelievable, especially in the it's convertible.
Yeah, he had the Spider. If I recall, he had a Quicksilver exhaust put on it, and there was a special point if you rev up to it, made the exhaust crack. So you put your foot down, and go like that. It was amazing.
It's like a backfire sounds like a gunshot. This sounded like a minigun. It was just absolutely super. I had to put the camera about 10 meters further back than I usually do to not peak the sound because it was mad.
The Lotus Exige S, one of my favouriteest cars we've driven this year because it was green, it looked angry, and good God, it was quick.
I think one of the best films we've done. I think in terms of the track stuff, it just looks like such an angry car, and then to see it in its environment, it was like a really wet day but not too wet that it was kind of impossible to film, and seeing that car kind of go sideways and that V6 sound, it wails and wails. It's an extremely angry banshee.
What it is it's like you'd expect an Elise to evolve into properly.
If it was on roids though and was like pumping it in the gym.
Like a Pokemon?
Roids. Yeah. You get it to the right level, and then all of a sudden it evolves. It has a bigger wing and a massive engine, like twice the size of the one it has already. Yeah, I want one of those. I'm a little bit in love with it.
We usually look for kind of a nice country area, kind of something quite rural, but we saw this industrial estate and there was this kind of ripped Union Jack and these abandoned garages, and it just looked so kind of raw, and it kind of completely matched the Exige's kind of I'm going to bite your hand off look about you. You wouldn't have wanted to hang about in that area, although we did with some very expensive camera equipment for a few hours.
At the end of January, we went to interview a very, very lovely chap called Charles Morgan. He used to be the MD of the Morgan Motor Company, then he was an ambassador for the Morgan Motor Company, and now he's been sacked. But it doesn't stop him from being the best uncle ever.
We all had, I mean, there was three of us there. There was me, you and Kyle, who was work experience at the time. And We all had a bit of a man crush on him by the end of the day because he was just...
Not
he
a
was,
bit of a man crush.
No,
do you?
yeah, okay, I was trying to play it down, but way to be cool. He was just immaculately dressed, he was just so friendly, so welcoming, and we thought, you know, we'd have very little time with him, but actually he took his time with us. The interview was, we got so much great stuff, it was so kind of difficult to cut it down, and then he kind of spent the day with us. He really wanted to see how the process worked, and he really appreciated what we did. And then I got one of the best filming experiences ever. I got to go out in his Aeromax, and it was still incredibly snowy around Malvern and quite icy, and he took it off-road onto kind of this path that was kind of for farm. It was a mud path that was for farmland, kind of tractors, that kind of thing, really icy. And then his hands, I mean, he's been racing Morgan since he was just incredibly young, but he just started going like this, and he is a phenomenal driver. But the fact that he was kind of going past parked cars about that far away, and he's just, what a legend. I mean, that's all you can say, really. It was a privilege to spend some time with him.
Yeah, Morgan will be a worse company without him, I think.
It is a real shame, not only as a personality himself, but he seemed to have the right forward thinking to bring the right people on board at the right time.
It was Charles that started the Aero program, and he started that through racing.
So, highlight for January.
I think all of them were pretty good. I think meeting Charles Morgan, I think that's got
to be hands down. I mean, that was no other thing I was thinking there. Meeting Charles Morgan, spending a day with him, and the Aeromax, which I think is just absolutely stunning.
The links to Charles Morgan and all the other films from January will be below, and we'll see you again tomorrow for highlights from February.